This is season 2, episode 4 of
Valkyrie Heart Podcast.
Valkyrie Heart Podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking about sleep, the myth,
the myth, the madness,
the rumors, and the importance of sleep, living the way we do with broken sleep and broken circadian rhythms, about reclaiming it and the benefits that it has on your long-term health.
We're not going to go into the science of why it's harmful for you. We're just going to give you tools, tips, tricks, and a really condensed toolbox based on both of our different approaches so that you get practical, hands-on application for yourself, both at home and in the Firehouse. So without further ado, stay tuned. I'm stoked about this episode because I think we are going to confront the uncomfortable truth that sleep debt is not a badge of honor, and the fire service culture treats it as such. The whole idea that I haven't slept for 2 days, I have 7 days that I'm working, but I was still first through the door. Like this machismo kind of approach to sleep from being 10 years in the fire service. Why do you think that is?
I could not even tell you, but all I could say is like, you hear like, oh, make sure you get your 8 hours, your 10 hours, whatever. When you become a firefighter, that all just kind of goes out the window and you're like, yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. Right. You just push through it.
It's just the job.
But like, I still remember like, we all know that not getting enough sleep isn't good for you. Right. Mm-hmm. Like we've heard things, but
it's common knowledge.
It's common knowledge. Right. But like now that we have like the studies that are actually like showing us how severe the ramifications are. Like when you first told me, like when you first gave me your presentation and told me how bad it was, I remember just sitting there and being like, it was like the worst news I'd ever heard. Because I was like, man, like trying to get good sleep is like hard enough. It's easy to write off and like just push through and be like, no, like I feel okay today. It's fine. I only got 5 hours, but I feel okay. So that's fine. And finally hearing actually all about how bad it actually is, I was like, this is like the worst thing.
Yeah, the fact that the World Health Organization calls chronic sleep debt for first responders a level 1 carcinogen? Level 1 carcinogen. It used to be 3 a couple of years ago. Now it's really? Already a level 1. Yeah, it's just wild. And then you have the idea that we expect fire. We expect victims. We expect broken sleep, but we don't approach it the same way we approach the other two things. Like when I first heard that phrase, it was out of training, and my trainers were like, so you need to like prepare for it. You need to train for it. You need to. So it's always been super befuddling to me that, well, if we expect broken sleep, why don't we approach it in the same way that we expect the other components of the job? And then for women, it's so much worse because our cycles are not just a 24-hour cycle.
Hormones.
add the complexity of hormones and that we need more sleep than men already. So I feel like a lot of the struggles that we've had as women in the fire service are so exacerbated by this lack of sleep, probably even triggered by a lack of sleep.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And like, I don't say this as something to complain about. Like I'm not saying like, oh, we need to change the structure of the fire service. I'm saying like, there are a lot of tools for us out there. And the more people can become aware of the tools, I think the more healthy firefighters can be. Because it's silly that you've spent 10 years in the fire service, you're 26. In theory, you could retire, before you're 50. You'd have to get a different job for retirement. But before you're 50...
48, I'm going to be out here so fast. I might not even put in my 2 weeks. I might just not show up to work, and we're just going to see how it feels.
I love that. It's not to say that, like, this is... I want people to have agency and have the ability to, like, feel that they can choose better sleep, even with all of these things outside our control. So I'm stoked that, you know, we have two completely different approaches. Largely because, like, I'm older, you're younger, you are more of like a hard charger. I'm now more of like a let's go with Zen balance. And yet we've both kind of figured out things that really work for us. So
I also feel like, and like thinking about like sleep in the fire service, like, you know, it didn't used to be this way when you think about even, 50 years ago.
That's true.
Right? Or however long, like, I feel like the chronic sleep debt that first responders have started to like have to deal with have really just kind of popped up with it. I'd say within the last 25 years.
COVID was such an exacerbation.
Yeah, but like think about like call volume, 20 years ago versus now, and then now we're paramedics, now we're doing medical stuff. It's not just like, oh, the bell goes off, it's a fire, we get it every couple of days, right? And like I think that between like the shifting that has happened over the course of the last couple of decades and over the generations, right, the sleep just got lost because like it wasn't something that like the older guys really had to deal with. It's mostly a modern problem. Yeah. And it's just like something that happened and conversations just didn't happen about it because it's just slowly started to become the new normal, Yeah.
And we probably just as a culture haven't adapted fast enough to how fast that change happened.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting that even with those changes, guys who have 26, 27 years in still tell you, oh, I got only 4 hours of sleep and I'm fine. Like, are you though?
But you're not,
And also, no offense, but like, aren't you on your third marriage? Like,
yeah. Be like, remember when you like kind of snapped at the homeless person on the call that we just had? Are you sure you're okay? I think you need a nap. You seem a little fussy. It's my favorite.
Fussy. We say we'll we will give each other a little warning of like, oh, Alex is in the yellow.
That's nice.
Brian's in the red.
That's not my go-to. I remember the first time I told my coworker, I was like, Travis, are you okay? You seem a little fussy today. And he goes, yeah, Natalie, I am feeling fussy today. I'm tired. I'm like, well, go take a nap, bud.
Yeah, go take like how 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah, and like
tired.
Go nap in your room. Don't sit in a recliner.
The recliner nap is just so.
It's the worst thing.
You don't even feel good after it.
No.
I hate doing that. I never do that.
The guys always try to guilt trip me into taking naps in the recliner, and I'm like, no. Like, sorry, no offense, your company is not worth it. I'm going to go nap in my room.
So, with that, I know a lot of women, like, we're 4 or 5% career firefighters. I think we are at like 8 or 9% overall career and volunteer. But with those numbers, like there is such a pressure to assimilate, a pressure to like kind of mold ourselves to be more masculine and to fit in. How much do you think, from what you've seen with like other women in fire, they feel that pressure to like, well, sleep is seen as weakness, so I can't lean into that because then I'll be seen as more weak.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it a lot at my old department when I was like a resident going through paramedic school. Now, like I really don't work with other female firefighters. Like my department, I think we have less than a dozen. Like, so we're probably hovering around the 8 or 9% mark, which is still
that's pretty good.
It's still pretty good, but like I never work with other females. I only interact with them ever so often, so I don't know if I could even really say like I've learned over the years to just kind of think less about what people think of me to be able to know I'm going to go sleep in my room, and now they can expect that of me kind of a thing. But like you probably work with more females than I do. Like what have you seen? Like what do you think?
I think the women that I've worked with overall, I would say most of them aren't, most of them don't approach the night with this mindset of like, well, we're going to get calls, so I might as well stay up. Like, there is a kind of tipping point, I would say, like maybe 10:30, 11, I've commonly seen for women to go to bed.
What time do you go to bed?
When the guys, they'll stay up till 12, 12:30, 1 watching movies. And I'm like, okay. I generally speaking will I have a whole wind down routine that we'll go into, but I make it my goal to go to bed, head on the pillow, at 9:30, 9:45. And I've seen that work out really well. Like this last shift I went to bed at 9:30. We got a call at 2. And then from 2 until 6, we had 4 or 5 calls. I did not feel that bad. I didn't get up with a headache. Because I got a great chunk before we got this busy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if for us, midnight-ish is when a lot of people go home from bars. 2 o'clock is when bars close. So there's a lot of activity between midnight and 2 in the city that I've seen. So I've just realized that, not only do you get your best and deepest, or I should say your most restorative sleep before midnight, clinically that's proven. I have found that that's a little window that regardless of kind of where you're at, unless it's an abnormally busy day, that is kind of a safety window. So yeah, it's even then though, 10:30, 11, 11:30, for women, we need so much in those windows, so much restoration in those windows that I'm just I love you guys. And also I do not need to spend 20 hours of the day with you. We all can have our alone time. So I'm really curious, since you have been in for 10 years now and you were a student where people are trying to mentor, they're trying to speak into you and give you tips, and you've seen so much. What was overall people's advice to you around sleep? Did it ever come up? Was it ever modeled to you
No, I don't think I've ever had a conversation with anybody about sleep outside of you, when you first came to me about it, which was 6 years in, 7 or 8 years in for me. Which I say 7 or 8 years, I was a cadet. I've been...
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I've been running calls as an EMT and as a medic for 7 now. But yeah, not a single person ever talked about oh, make sure you get sleep, make sure you get your rest.
Not a single person.
Not a single person. Other than at school, all right guys, big test tomorrow, get your rest. And we all know we're all going home to our separate departments to go run calls all night. We all know we're not going to get rest.
Yeah.
But no, not a single conversation about it. Most of the guys, they're proud of, the lack of sleep they get. And I'm trying to remember what I said earlier. It's expected, and it's, like you said, it's a badge of honor to not get sleep. And I never quite got it, but I bought into it because I thought that, I would assimilate better, that people would treat me as part of the crew if I was willing to stay up until 11 midnight, watch a movie. Not anymore, but with your fire gals that you've seen, and you see women from everywhere and you get to talk with them, is it pretty common for that pressure to stay up and watch movies and stuff?
Yeah, a lot of women call it family time, which is just that percolating of belonging. I'm I am happy to watch a movie if we started at 7. Yeah. We don't have to wait until 9:30 to start a movie. I don't understand that. But that's wild that not a single person. And then as students in the programs that you were in, you would be needing to do homework and then run calls. So
there was no time for sleep. Sleep when you're dead, That's what they used to say. When you went through your academy and everything, was sleep something that was talked about?
You know, my one of my training lieutenants, he had horrible sleep problems. And so he would tell us, he was like, there was the first time someone ever said something about this, he was like, just so you know, your sleep is never going to be the same again. Like, you're never going to feel good again. Like, this is the last time, essentially. Like, enjoy this period where you still get to go home and sleep in your own bed, because it's just going to get worse. Like, he was that blunt. And I was just like, huh, like,
You're like, that's unacceptable.
That's fascinating and unexpected. But a lot of people, now I know that a lot of people, like, our bodies are so trainable that if you're at a busy house for 10 years and then your body is just in that routine of getting up in the middle of the night over and over and over, even when you're at home, you're going to wake up. So I've found that, you know, there's essentially this, like, counterbalance that has to be had, so that with these sleep interventions that I've discovered, they work on shift to help you fall asleep and, you know, you're sleeping more efficient, but they also protect your sleep at home because, you know, you're keeping your body in that rhythm and expectation that, like, we might get up, but we become aware, we wake up, we can also fall back asleep faster. So
you know, it's interesting, like, when you talk about him saying, like, this will be the best sleep that you get, like, what a thing to say to a newbie, first off. But also, like, I don't know if you've or if any of the people you've interacted with have talked to you about this, but, like, some of my coworkers and people who don't even work with my department, busy houses, these guys, I've talked to multiple of them, and they're like, yeah, I haven't dreamt in years.
Yeah.
Right? When they're like, yeah, I go to sleep and I wake up and that's it. And the first time I heard that, and I was like, what? And they're just like, yeah, busy. Like, they don't attribute it to being at busy houses and getting up 8 or 9 times a night, which was the first thing that I thought of.
Yeah.
But, like, that was astonishing for me. It was like, these guys have not had a dream in years. They just
do you
go
know
to sleep.
what that actually
means? Like, that's not a flex the way you think it is.
Yeah, that's not a flex.
Like, it's just not. So, like, I'm excited to talk about all these things that people can use for their sleep. Like, we can go over, like, your toolkit and everything. Like, let's bring it out. Like, there's lots of things that we can do to get better sleep. Like, give us the list and then tell us your routine, the ones that work for you.
You know, I'm trying to remember. Maybe melatonin. I might have tried melatonin. I definitely had my, like, weighted blanket. I had already slept with an eye mask.
Are you talking about, like, sleep aids?
Yeah.
Like medicinal?
Yes. But those didn't really help. I mean, they helped a little bit at home, right? But not at work. And I found that I just, like, felt sick when I had that many calls and then I couldn't fall asleep in between. I remember being in training where I was just like, I just am going to expect to sleep light. And I think that's that is the mindset of a lot of firefighters too. Like, they expect that they're not going to get good sleep at work. Or they're like, they expect calls and they don't go to sleep and then it's 1:30 and they didn't get a call and they could have been in bed. So I think that, you know, I started with some supplemental things like melatonin, or I think I used Unisom for quite a bit until I realized that that's linked to dementia long-term use.
Not good for you.
So like, definitely need to stay away from that. Weighted blanket, and then, you know, you can get some books that go into, like, sleep routines. So, you know, warm shower before bed, kind of some of these light things. But ultimately they didn't really work because so many of them, I should back up and say they didn't work to correct sleep debt. When we don't do those kind of things, it harms us more because they're, like, things that help our routine, our body's circadian rhythm. But so not doing them harms us, but doing them doesn't fix the broken sleep cycle. And so that's really hard, I think, for some people because it doesn't seem like the cost benefit ratio is really high. But in any case, so I have cultivated just a freaking massive toolbox of sleep tools and supports for people. And I am just wildly fascinated by the few things that work across the board for everybody. And then the few things that, or the additional things that of this list of, let's say, 30 things, 6 work across the board. And then the rest are based on your own like physiology and makeup. And, you know, some people, like, they're anxious sleepers so that they don't expect to sleep well at work. That's because they're like anticipating calls and like what possibly they're going to have to, you know, oh, if there's a fire and like wanting to not go into deep sleep and then have to wake up and be groggy. And so like there's those kind of sleepers that a lot of the challenges are psychosomatic. And then there are people who legit like can't relax, where they can't like wind down enough for their body to go into that rest and digest. They're still either side, they're still in fight or flight, right? Like one is more mental strain and the other is physical strain. And when you're in that physical strain, it will make the mental strain worse, and vice versa. So, and then there are the people that, you know, for whatever reason or another, they don't want, this one was really interesting for me. They haven't like given themselves permission to sleep at work. Okay. And that was really fascinating to me once I kind of realized that I had this, out of training, I had this block that like, okay, I'm going to not really sleep when I'm at work in training because I want to be ready. Like I was one of those people. But getting out of training and like just kind of doing the normal shift work thing, I realized like I have to sleep. Like I need to sleep and I am actually going to be better at my job, period, if I sleep. Whether that call comes in at 1:30 or 11 or 3:15. And so like different people's biorhythms and, you know, mechanisms all change the kind of tools that they need. And then also we have to sometimes rotate them because especially women, our biology changes year to year. And then phase of life also changes our biology. So, you know, you have that like puberty and then you have the like having children stage and then you have the like perimenopause, menopause stage. And you, like I've mentioned before, one of the most vexing things that I realized was in the last year that I can have a routine that works really solidly for 9 months. And then month 10, it all goes out the door for some, like just because of biorhythms. And so you actually can't, once something stops working, you have to rotate, whether it's the tools, whether it's the supplements, whether it's your routines. So all that said, you know, a lot of factors change it. But if you're not doing sleep hygiene at all, like just work on sleep hygiene for a little bit and see what improves. And the basic sleep hygiene is, you know, like going to bed within a 90-minute window, getting up within a 90-minute window, not having blue light, using, you know, red light glasses, blue blocking glasses, having a wind down routine where you don't do like, you don't send emails and do work and go to the gym, you know, 30 minutes before bed. And then when you get up in the morning, like get 5-10 minutes of sunshine. That sets your circadian rhythm.
You know, it's really interesting and really cool to hear you say, like, you know, when things stop working, it's important to rotate them, because I feel like a lot of people they try something, oh, cool, it's working. And then when it stops working, they kind of just get discouraged and give up. They don't think about changing it because it's like, oh, I guess it just doesn't work anymore. And then they stop. But like, you have all these things to try that you can rotate through. And that's I just wanted to highlight that because I think that's really important.
No, it's very important because you're right. Otherwise, I mean, I've even fallen into that trap. Man, or like you keep trying to use it thinking the outcome's going to be different and it doesn't. I found that, in my rotation of like supplements, magnesium is one that every first responder can take without magnesium glycinate. There are like 20 different kinds of magnesium. Right. Magnesium glycinate is for sleep, not for pooping. But magnesium glycinate and 400 milligrams because stress burns through magnesium stores so much, but we need it to recover from that stress.
Is the over-the-counter 400? Or is it? Okay.
Yeah, it is over-the-counter. And so 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate, and then I would use L-theanine and ashwagandha. And for a long time, those supplements were like it. Like, I slept so freaking good. That was like the series, the stack that I had all of my coaching firefighter clients on, and they would be like, I cannot believe this works so good.
Yeah.
And then it just like seemed to not be working anymore. So I had to switch that up. And I don't know, I probably have like 4 or 5 different stacks of supplements that I have used now. And the last time I rotated, I was like, oh yeah, like I'm going to bring back L-theanine and magnesium and ashwagandha. And I was like, dang, this works so good. I forgot how good this works. So like supplementation, it's so interesting to me how so many firefighters don't like spending money on their health. It like blows my mind given all the ailments and conditions that we end up coming across and that we don't want to invest in that.
It's not going to be me. That's just the mindset is, oh, I'm not going to have these problems. That's not going to ever be me.
Yeah. And so anyway, I am a fan of supplementation because our bodies just need support. We're not average people. We're not normal citizens. We like have these disruptions that over the course of a lifetime really cause problems. So our bodies, like our physicality, just needs that support. So I have, like people can talk with their doctors, but supplements I've used are like L-theanine. L-theanine and GABA are very similar. L-theanine promotes physical relaxation. GABA promotes like that mental kind of relaxation. Ashwagandha is an adaptogen, which means that your hypopituitary adrenal axis is like your fight or flight system, and the regulation of cortisol and your stress hormones. And so if you run really high, ashwagandha helps your body to come down and regulate more normally. Okay. And then if you're like, you have that, you've maxed out your adrenal glands so much that you like can't bring up enough, like they're maxed out on their production. Yeah. It'll help them kind of slowly come back up. So it's a really great one. You can use it either in the morning or at night. Most first responders use it at night. So yeah, L-theanine, GABA, ashwagandha, NAC, that is a neurotransmitter as well. And that one, again, is like kind of the racing thoughts sort of thing. I also use the 400 milligrams of magnesium. There's another one, inositol is really good for your gut health. But another benefit is it really helps your sleep. Okay. Glycine is another one. I'm not as familiar with the biomechanisms of glycine, but I found it's good in addition to like 1 or 2 other supplements. For women, like especially women who are in their late 30s, they're kind of doing that perimenopause. Progesterone has like been life-changing for my sleep. So imagine going, okay, so I've been in for 5 years. Imagine going 2 years and you've got systems worked out.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly overnight, everything stops working.
Yeah.
That's what happened the moment I turned 40. My eyesight got significantly worse. And I stopped sleeping. And I was like, holy hell. I am literally the firefighter sleep expert and I cannot sleep.
Nothing is working.
I was waking up with hot flashes and night sweats and, you know, I would like take forever to feel like I could fall asleep. It was really bizarre. And we put me on progesterone. I think I started with 100 milligrams and boom, just overnight. Like, oh, suddenly I was sleeping again. So progesterone is one that I use quite a bit of.
How did you get that? Because that can be hard to get. Just
not anymore. No. My naturopath just prescribed it. Yeah. So I picked it up for Costco. I think it's like $2. Like it doesn't even cost you out of pocket.
That's convenient. Yeah.
One that I freaking love so much for first responders, phosphatidylserine, which is, you know, when we have that early rise of cortisol in the morning, because we're so used to getting up for calls, it blunts the early release of that cortisol. So you have kind of more of a balanced circadian rhythm, waking up more like at a normal time, like 7:30. So that one is really, really useful, but that one also needs to be rotated. You can't just be on it forever. And then I think my favorite of all supplements so far is from the plant people. It's called Wonder Sleep. They're sleep gummies, but they've got like reishi and saffron, and the blend it's a blend that I haven't seen in any other combo before. And it is delightful. Like you can use it on shift. It doesn't make you feel groggy. It's just extremely supportive. Both myself and JD will use it.
Does it have like valerian root in it?
Love it. No, it does not. I am out of it right now. Otherwise, I would have looked at the ingredients. But yeah, it has a really unique blend of things that just works so good. So there's a lot of supplements that can really, really help.
But it can be really overwhelming too, to like not know where to start or what any of that.
And to that end, I actually have a little like sleep. I have 4 different sleep stacks in a PDF that kind of help like if this is what you deal with, these might be a good set to start with. Of course, people have to consult their doctors, you know, do their own like medical advocacy responsibility research. But supplements are huge.
Yeah.
So aside from supplements, aside from sleep hygiene, you have like the just support of your body. Like if you don't feel comfortable, this one, it's so funny. This one should be a no-brainer, but it doesn't like compute with people. If you do not feel comfy, you're not going to fall asleep.
Yeah.
So, like, having sheets that feel good, having a mattress that feels good,
mattress topper,
pillow, a mattress topper.
It's, the sleep I've had on a mattress topper versus, like, a plain is insane.
Especially at work. Like, I remember the first time I really discovered mattress toppers was at one station, and there was a guy who had it in his room, and I would go and kind of test the mattresses when I was traveling of the free bedrooms. And this one had this mattress topper. And I was like, oh, this feels like I'm touching clouds. Yeah. And so I started every time I went to that station and I was working for him, I would sleep on this mattress topper and life-changing.
They're so cheap. They're so cheap.
But they're so comfortable. A pillow, weighted blanket, you know, like... things that promote your body's ability to relax, because the more relaxed you are, the easier and faster it'll be to fall asleep. So,
and there's something to be said about making your space a little bit like yours. Like even when I was floating and now at my home station, like when I go to work, before I even put my uniform on, I set my room up. Like I put my book here and I put my charger here and I set up my bed first thing so that every time that I walk in my room, even if I'm just going to get something, like it immediately feels like my space.
It's welcoming. It's cozy.
It's exactly how I want it.
Yes. I use a Pendleton blanket, which just makes me feel like I am getting hugged. But those things are all huge factors for our ability to relax. I also use things like, in setting up your sleep space, we're putting out a YouTube video where I do a little tour of my sleep space and everything that I use. But like red light night lamps. Like you have the tone lamp go off, but then you're, throwing in blue light into your eyes right out the get-go. Like I just have a little salt lamp that I plug in, and it's this nice little amber hue. Put on my blue light blocking glasses, and
honestly, the glasses are a game changer.
Game changer.
Like if I'm not driving and I'm like, I wear my glasses before I go to bed. Like if I wake up on a call, I will put my glasses on when I get in. I will keep them on until I get to the call, and then I'll take them off. Because sometimes you get canceled, and sometimes you don't have to get out. So I will literally keep them on until the absolute last possible second, and take them off. And some guys were like, "What are you doing?"
It's very Tony Stark
weird.
vibes.
Yeah, but I stopped caring so quickly because of how much better I felt and how much they worked.
It's insane how much better you feel.
Yeah.
And they have safety glasses, so you could wear them on scene if you want. I know as a medic that probably is a bit harder with getting IVs and whatnot. But yeah, game changer. And then other sleep supports, having an eye mask, block out that light. Even if you have the curtains, the blackout curtains at work, I still use them as sleep mask because any light that filters through your eyes, it affects your circadian rhythm. So that's important. And then there are other things that, so those are the things that are easy to cover first.
I also want, as we're talking about supplements, I also want to give a shout out to the old-fashioned allergy pill. You want to know how many people... No, not Benadryl.
Okay.
Just a Claritin or a Zyrtec. The environment, everybody has seasonal allergies now.
Yeah.
And most people don't know it because, they didn't grow up with it, or it wasn't obvious, right? Oh, well, my eyes don't get red and itchy, or all this, right? But I didn't know I had allergies for a long time. And then I started taking an allergy pill before going to bed. And holy shit, I started sleeping so much better.
Well, it's because it affects your breathing.
Yeah. So now I take an allergy pill every day before I go to bed. And that's part of one of my supplement bundles is it drastically improves my sleep. And people don't think about it. And it bothers me.
Yeah.
The guys just walk around and their noses are stuffy or whatever, and they're like, oh no, it's fine, I just, it's normal. And I'm like, it's not normal. Take a freaking allergy pill. I will hand you one. And they're just like, no, it's fine. And I'm
That's funny.
Oh my God.
I mean, it makes sense because, the sleep conditions that people develop where they have to use a CPAP and that sort of thing are largely based on the respiratory system, the affected respiratory system. So have you seen those nose
the clamp
things? Yeah. So one of my friends told me she just started using it and she sleeps so much better. She didn't know how much her breathing was affecting her sleep. Yeah. And I'm like, I have seen the mouth guards now that instead of doing CPAPs, they have these mouth guards that help keep your jaw and everything aligned in a way that you can keep breathing. And those are both things that are HSA. Some insurances cover them too. So, and they're non-invasive, really. But it's an interesting concept that there are these things that we just don't know we're affected by or that are out there. And that suddenly, an allergy pill or a mouth guard, suddenly everything changes dramatically.
Yeah.
So those are the easy ones. And then we can get more into some woo-woo kind of things, which, grounding mats where, you plug your sheet has a connector that plugs into the wall, and essentially when you go stand outside, you're grounding your feet to the earth's energy field, and that does the same thing. Okay. I found that my business partner Jason turned me on to this, and he said it was such a big difference for him at work. So I got a little grounding mat first, And sure as shit, when I would use it at work as a traveler or when I would forget it, huge difference, massive difference. So now I have grounding sheets at home, and I need to get, my grounding mat just died after 3 years, so I need to get grounding sheets for work. But that is makes a really big difference.
I've heard that you can get, which is like, this is me always trying to find, the cheaper, more cost-effective option rather than spending money on myself. I've heard you can get very similar effects to grounding mats. I was just going to make a joke and say by go standing outside, but actually by just standing on salt.
Oh, I remember you telling me this. Like, did you try it?
I haven't tried it yet. No, because I forgot about it until this exact moment. But yeah, just by standing on salt it's 5 minutes. You have to stand on it for 5 minutes. The negative ions, it just does the exact same thing that a grounding mat does.
Interesting.
I'll try it. I'll have to let you know how it works.
You'll have to let me know. I mean, you can't just go stand outside, but I like it because of the extra strain of work. I like grounding sheets because then when you're sleeping, you get the benefits. So yeah, grounding sheets. And then I have something called the Schumann resonance, which it essentially broadcasts frequencies that put you in a 10-foot radius around it, and it helps the harmful effects of PMFs. So, like in Firehouses, we have all the electronics, we have the radio waves, we have all these Wi-Fi signals, and those actually, I think, government, modern culture, does not want to highlight how much those things affect us, but there's a reason why you go camping and suddenly you sleep the best you've slept in 5 years. I mean, as long as you're warm and cozy. I'm a glamper, so
yeah, that's true. That's true.
If you're cozy, it's the nature, right?
Yeah.
Nature has its own frequency. So this little device allows you to set different frequencies that give you those same effects.
Can you do that by an app on your phone or anything?
No. Because your phone is emitting the harmful effects too. Apple doesn't even recommend you sleep next to your phone on your nightstand. So I will put my phone as far from my bed as possible and the Schumann resonance right next to it. Because it will help to block it.
Where do you buy that? Or
it's called, I think, Schumann resonance. It's $200. It's a little bit on the pricier side, but they do also do a 30-day try it and
And you think it actually works?
Oh, it works. I've noticed more at work. JD has also noticed. But at work, it's pretty significant. I actually can let you borrow it.
Yeah,
so you can
I'd like to try it.
I love it. It's again, one of those weird, and I'm very much if I can use 5 different tools that improve things by 7%, 11%, 5%, all of that adds up.
Yeah. It can be a lot of work, which is
why sometimes just buying the Schumann, buying the grounding sheets, you don't have to think about those things. They just are there to help support you.
Yeah.
So I really like that. And then there are tools that help you sleep with regards to binaural beats. So sounds that put your brain in a brainwave state that is moves you into sleep faster because, we have focus is alpha brainwaves. Our brainwaves are constantly in one state or another. So there is delta is the brainwave state that is our deepest sleep. So if you listen to delta binaural beats, it moves your brain into that state faster, and so you can fall asleep more quickly. There also is a company out there called, what is it? New Calm. And they have it's kind of pricey. It's a $15 subscription a month, but they are neuroacoustic technology, which basically means instead of a frequency in a certain range, 2.8 is binaural beats, the delta brainwave. They have 30 years of research on this acoustic technology, which it's way more complicated than just binaural beats, but it does kind of the same thing. So I always recommend people try binaural beats to see how much it affects them. I'm very affected by music. So I found that it's really nice to just put on in the background while you're reading your book before bed. But my business partner, Jason, loves New Calm. He has become a rep for them. He thinks that it's a big help for him.
Okay.
So, and the neuroacoustic vibrational technology essentially also helps move your whole body to a more like out of that fight or flight into rest and digest. It's more adaptive to your nervous system.
Okay.
So there's things like that. Then now there are also vagus nerve stimulators. Have you heard of these? So your vagus nerve is the fight or flight button, essentially, right? So you put your legs up a wall, or you know, a patient who vagals out, you put their legs up a wall, helps them reset. Put your legs up a wall before you go to bed, it essentially like kicks on that vagus nerve, so you move into rest and digest. It's hilarious to me. There are like 3 things I give people to start improving their sleep right off the bat. It's like box breathing, putting their legs up a wall, and then doing a body scan. And without fail, they tell me like legs up a wall, they cannot believe they feel a difference, right? And so that's really cool that it's such an immediate shift. But these vagus nerve stimulators essentially are like the lazy man's way of moving your system into fight or flight to rest and digest. Some people actually like their vagus nerve, like there's this, you can get stuck into high gear essentially. So you can't shift out of those nervous system states very well. And that is, believe it or not, why many firefighters have difficulty with their sleep, because they can't shift their systems. They're so on overdrive for so long, both at home and at work, that they just can't turn it off anymore. And so it takes time and like effort and training essentially to start moving your body into that state. So anyway, vagus nerve stimulators are, a lot of them use, you can put like a pulsars on your ears. There's one that like, is almost like a TENS unit, but you don't stick it on your neck. You rub it up and down your neck, and it just gives a little like, I don't know, it almost feels like a watch stimulation to your vagus nerve. I just got one to try. It's called the Sensate. I haven't tried it yet, but it actually has both vibration and neuroacoustic sound technology.
Oh, very cool.
So the combination of those, which I'll do a YouTube video like kind of going over what it was, but that I'm really curious about. That one's a little bit more expensive also. So there's additional tools you can get which help your sleep, and then there's all of the routine activities that you do. So those, you know, can be anything from those are basically the tools that help your body actually move into rest and digest. So breath work, long static cold stretching, warm shower before bed, like reading before bed in an actual book. Like Harvard has a study that if you read, I think it's 8 minutes before bed, you'll fall asleep faster and sleep longer.
That makes sense.
It just can't be on phone. It can't be on a Kindle. Like it's specifically just a book. A body scan, like again, listening to binaural beats. So those are things that people actually can do in practice that will help.
Wearing your glasses.
Exactly. There are like sleep teas that you can use. I have found one that I freaking love. I didn't show you my pot, did I?
No.
I got the cutest little teapot. It like has, the cup is the base, and then there's a little teapot that sits right on the cup. So when you steep the tea, you just like take the teapot out, and it's yellow. It's so cute.
Adorable.
But it's a company in Austin called Zai Tea, and it has a blend of all these different herbs. I think like chamomile, lemongrass, rose hips, and there are a few companies that have like these blends, but that one works so good. Oh my God. It's just like, you just feel so rested when you wake up in the morning.
We, our station at one point, we just bought like boxes of like the sleepy time tea. But like At one point, the captain had a conversation with everybody and was like, he didn't say no more sleepy time today, but he was like, okay, like, we have to par down on it because, like, there were nights where everybody was missing the tones and people were just sleeping through. And so it was like, it wasn't banned, but it was like...
That's hilarious.
Yeah. You gotta be careful with that one. Which I think just goes to show how much the guys just don't relax.
Yes.
So when they have tea and they do relax, they're out. And, like, take that as a hint. Like, but no.
Your body actually needs, it's like people who fall asleep in that 5-6 minutes, they're like, oh, I can just go to sleep anytime, anywhere. And I'm like, friend, that is actually not a good sign. Like, that means your body needs it so much. It's like, oh my God, thank God you're being still. I need to get some sleep. And then I know one thing that you use, I just started using the last few months, is earplugs.
Oh, I love my earplugs.
I can't believe how, like, garbage trucks and someone walking down the hall and, you know, motorcycles racing down the street, like, make such a difference. I also think it has something to do with the fact that when you, like, have not just blocking out noise, but, like, the pressure it puts on your ear, that you can you can hear your own heartbeat and your breath. I think that, like, helps calm your body too. I generally, like, plug in one really well and then the other kind of halfway, and that's, like, been incredible and no, I haven't slept through a call. I haven't I wish that I could sleep hard enough that I slept through calls, but that's just not that doesn't work for me. So there's, like, all of these things that I just wish were out there, and I know that it can be hard for people to, like, put together their own program or whatnot, which is why, you know, this last spring we developed, like, a 30-day overhaul of people's sleep, that it's like, day 1, you know, start with these things, like, day 1, try this, day 2, try this, day 3, add this, so that it's just, like, a plan that people can start anywhere and easily. So I, again, am someone who, like, full biohacker, full send. Like, I want just about anything that helps improve my sleep. For a lot of people, it's overwhelming. It's just not practical to how much they have going on in their lives. So I think it'd be really fun to hear from you, because we approach it very differently. And also, when I first went to the training that I went to and then came back, I made all the fire siblings get together. I made you dinner, and I was like, guys, I have to tell you these things. I have to walk you through these things. What was going through your head when you were in that, when you walked away? Like, what did you start with? What were you curious about? What were you intimidated by?
I mean, like, I'm not a person who likes routine, generally. It kind of bothers me. I don't know why. So, like, when you came back and you were telling us all these things, like, the first thing was, like, you know, like, I knew it was important to sleep, right? But I think I walked away from that realizing how bad my sleep actually was, right? Because, like, you know, you can sleep and and, like, fall asleep and you have this idea of your sleep that you think is normal, but then once you actually start getting better sleep, you're like, oh. And then you're like, oh, maybe this is a problem that I need to fix. And, like, and even now, like, still, like, I still get overwhelmed thinking about all the things that I could be doing differently to improve my sleep. But for me, like, at the end of the day, I know that I have, like, these list of things that I could do, and I try not to get bogged down with the details of trying to do all of them, right? Because it is about just trying to create a protocol or things that work for you.
A system that works for you.
And, like, rotating them. And, like you say, like, I rotate them every couple of months, or you rotate your supplements every couple of months, right? Like, this is just me. My sleep routine is not the same every night, but I do things every night to help me fall asleep. They're just not the same because that doesn't work for me. But generally, I do try to do, like, 2 things every night, which is, like, I do try to put my legs on the wall, 5 minutes. I set a timer because when I go to my room to go to bed, I just want to get in bed.
Yeah, you're tired.
Yeah. So, like, I can't do the whole, okay, go into your room and stretch for 10 minutes and do this, because by the time I get to my room, I just want to lay down. but I make myself do 5 minutes of legs on the wall. Like, I put a timer on, I watch it. I can't wait for it to be over. But, like, usually by the last minute, I'm like, oh, I'm pretty comfy. Like, maybe I'll sit here for a little extra. Like, you know. Yes. So I always do legs on the wall, and then I always, like, read before bed. And, like, those two things. Earplugs also, because I can't sleep without earplugs. But
you sleep with earplugs at home?
Yep, home and
oh, you do.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So those are the things that I do every day, and then if I'm
what kind of triggered your willingness to give some of these things a try?
Like, what's it gonna hurt? You know, I have like nothing to lose but everything to gain, right? And really, it just comes down to like, if you're curious and you're interested and you're like, I'll give it a try. You know, you don't have to commit to anything. See what happens. Just see what happens. Yeah. Like, best case scenario, oh, I slept better last night. Worst case scenario, oh, I slept the same as I normally do. You know, like, you don't have a whole lot to lose.
Yeah.
So I do those couple of things every night. And then if I am feeling more wound up than usual, or if I really cannot downregulate, I'll be like, okay, I don't want to sit and go through a breathing meditation or any of that, because I want to be that person. I'm not that person yet. So I'm like, okay, you are going to do 3 rounds of box breathing. You can do 3. If I really need to talk myself into it, I do 2. I'm like, okay, do 2, because I know by the time I do 2,
sometimes
that I will do 3.
Is the hurdle.
Yeah. But I just set a goal for myself. Okay, just do it once. Just do it twice. You can do it twice. It takes 30 seconds, you know. And then I'm like, oh, I feel better. And then I do it for a little bit longer.
Oh, yeah, tapping. We talked about this the other day. Forgot to mention that.
Yeah, tapping, which I'll let you talk more about that. But, breath work and tapping and are things that I kind of just rotate through as needed. And because I have a really hard time with making a routine for myself. So but you're like the opposite. You thrive on your routine. You love like all the way to going all the way until your eyes close. That's not me. But tell us about what you do.
I don't think this is kind of a new phase for me. Like, I didn't ever nerd out on like biosystems or anything like that. It really, I think since I was sick and it launched me into this whole new world of like wellness and like recovery modalities that I just thought were so interesting, and why not capitalize on? As I think similar to you, I have my staples. It changes from home to work though. My routine is not the same at home and at work. At work, I, put on my blue blockers after dinner. I have my sleep tea while I read. And then I'll go to my room. It really depends on how tired I am. I will do legs up a wall if I'm like actually tired and, just breathe while I'm doing that. And then I'll do do you do the sleep meditation? No, not really.
No. Usually by the time, like, I will read until my eyes are heavy, and then sometimes I will literally go from reading and I'll put the book down by my head and just go to sleep, because it's just a gateway.
That's a gateway. I love that. I'll do the sleep meditation, which I teach at Firehouse. And
do you do that every night?
For the most part, yeah. I also do it in between calls, and like I've gotten so programmed that like 2 sentences in I can fall asleep. Wow. It's pretty incredible. Like I said, it's a gateway.
So much work to getting there, though.
It's almost it's almost like a hypnosis. Like, you have your few first sentences, and then you're just like moving.
It's like the anesthesia. Count down from 10.
Yes, it's exactly.
You start naming colors when you're asleep.
It's exactly like that. If I'm like super wired, then I'll do like stretching and reading and breathing, or I'll do like tapping, which is using these different acupressure points to bring your body into regulation. I might like shake it out, do some light shaking before. But yeah, in general, the legs up a wall, the reading, some breath work, and the sleep meditation, the sleep tea, I think works as like a good signal that like, oh, the wind down routine has started. And then at home, I'm different. At home, like we'll watch shows sometimes, or do other activities. So about 8:45, I'll start doing some stretching. I also have this really sweet PEMF mat, which again is like grounding, but it adds some other elements to it, including heat. And so I'll stretch on that, maybe put my legs up the wall, we'll read together, and that I'll normally do for an hour. So it's kind of like a yin yoga session. I'll do some PT exercises then too, and that's been really good to like just be consistent in like the PT exercises. And then,
how long is your wind down routine?
At work, it totally depends. Like I said, 8:45 to 9:30 is like the window that I push for myself to stay in. But sometimes I'll read for an hour before I like actually go to my room. At home, it tends to be about an hour as well. Okay. Sometimes at home, magnesium Epsom salt baths. Holy Moses, those are so good. Like, you will sleep so good with a bath prior. Magnesium lotion is another one that you can use.
I love the lotion on my feet before I go to bed.
It's so nice. So, I think like firefighters, female firefighters, just kind of deciding that like, hey, I'm going to give some things a try. And knowing that it can be different at home than at work. Like I think we need more support at work than we do at home, but we don't have to do the same thing all the time. The more we know, the more we have power. The more we can choose like, hey, I have this huge toolbox. I'm going to use 3 tools today, or this job needs this tool. But you have resources, and that means you have a choice. Like, you're not just suffering because it's the job. Like, there are so many things that can help and support us, as firefighters. I became known as the sleep girl at my department. And it's so interesting because so many firefighters will, like, tell me things that they don't tell everyone else. And I think it's because they just know I get it. I understand. I'm a safe space. And I want to normalize more conversations around sleep because they say that sleep is the greatest performance enhancing drug that is underutilized. If we're tactical athletes and industrial athletes, then, we need more than the average person to recover, but we're getting significantly less. So why are we expecting ourselves to be able to perform higher, better, faster, stronger when we're not even getting like bare minimum for a civilian population? Like, that just doesn't make sense.
Right.
So I guess in closing, from where you started to where you are now with the athletic training that you've had, and also knowing that, you're not in my shoes yet, what would you encourage a fire gal to start with? What would you say to give her that supercharged, hey, just start here?
With things to do?
Or just mindset or perspective or give this a try?
Well, I'll start off with a little fact. We've discussed, we know sleep, lack of sleep is bad for you, especially as firefighters and especially as women. But I read an article the other day, statistics that are significantly higher of women who, as they get older, they develop dementia and Alzheimer's versus men. Men usually develop other things. And a lot of that was pinpointed to lack of sleep, specifically in the 25 to 45 age range of bearing children and being up and getting up 5 or 6 times a night because you need to feed your kid or take care of your baby and all of that. And so they found that out just by studying moms and stuff. And we're firefighters, so we're we're going to be doing both, like at home and at work. And like, so think about that. Like your risk of developing these illnesses as you get older are going to significantly increase, especially as a woman already.
Yeah.
So take that as you will. I personally would love to avoid all of that if at all possible.
Love.
So like really shifted into this mindset of like you are doing small things now every day to like take care of your brain matter.
Yeah. Literally your
brain matter, your gray matter. But I mean, like, start with just legs on the wall. 5 minutes. Just put a timer on. You know, you can do it on the floor next to your bed, or I just do it on my bed because station floor, ew. You know?
Same.
So like, do it on your bed, and then like just grab a book, like any book, whatever you find enjoyable, something chill, no theology, philosophy, anything that's gonna make you think. Just like, oh, like I used to like this book series. I'm just gonna pick one up and read for a little bit. I like to read while my legs are on the wall, but just like starting with those two things, put your phone down, and just like try to be willing to invest a little bit into calming your body, calming your mind to get ready for sleep. That would be where I would start.
Yeah.
What would you recommend?
I like to recommend, like you said, just testing things out, like giving something a try. You know, it takes like a week of practice to really see how something affects you at minimum. So at least you can start identifying trends. So the more you learn something, the more you're able to give something a try. So there's a lot more resources even on firefighter sleep than ever. But, you know, the list that we talked about, taking two things and giving it a week and just seeing what happens, whether you play around with it at work or whether you play around with it at home. A lot of people like to start at home because they feel like there's more in their control. But choosing to prioritize, I think, is the first thing I would say. Like, as long as something's not a priority, we're not going to put any thought, intention, effort into it at all. And so making that choice is huge. And yes, it's going to be inconvenient. Yes, it's annoying. Yes, it can be overwhelming, but like, you matter that much. Your long-term health matters that much. If you want to stay in the job, that matters that much. If you want to be, you know, perform the best with your training, that matters that much. If you want to be the best mom, wife, partner, friend, sister, like, you need your sleep to be able to do that. And that's not a point of, you know, like, you're weaker than someone else. That's just it. I will never forget one of the first times you told me how much you were so wiped from a shift of like 4 or 5 calls that night. And we both had, you know, a rough night the night before. And I was just like, wow, my 16-year-old younger sister feels this way in her early 20s. Like, I can absolutely feel this way as someone who is almost 40. Like, it was so freeing to me. So just recognizing that, like, it is a big deal and you're worth whatever you need to do to improve that. And like, you're going to feel it, you're going to notice it, and you're going to be really glad you did it.
And like you said, like a week, like, you know, if that's too much, 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 days, just like do it for 2 or 3 days, and then don't do it and see how much worse you sleep. And then like it'll click in like, oh, maybe this does work. So like a couple of days, give it a break, and then go back to it and like, you know, try different things. But like, I don't know, you know, lots of people can be scared of commitment and like, oh, a week, it sounds like, you know, 28 days to form a habit or whatever, right? Just try it for a couple of days, and then you will notice when you don't do it versus like when you do. Yeah,
it's true. Yeah, so expect fire, expect victims, expect broken sleep, and then live accordingly.
Yeah, you're not going to take a chainsaw to go force a door. Not everything is going to work for certain nights. You need certain things for certain nights.
And it's like you get to play to figure that out.